Merci beaucoup à la fanfare de la garde républicaine. Merci. Excellence, Monsieur Bassirou Diomaye Diakhar Faye, président de la République du Sénégal. Excellence, Monsieur Paul Kagame, président de la République du Rwanda. Monsieur le président de l'Assemblée nationale, Monsieur El Malik Ndiaye. Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs, Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Mesdames et Messieurs les directeurs, chers partenaires, chers invités, mais surtout, chère jeunesse africaine. En vos rangs, grades et qualités, c'est un privilège de nous retrouver ici à Dakar, au cœur d'un moment unique, entouré de décideurs, d'innovateurs et surtout de celles et ceux qui incarnent l'avenir de l'Afrique, sa jeunesse. Je suis Maïmouna Dembélé et c'est avec une joie immense que je co-anime cet événement aux côtés de Larry Madowo, journaliste international. Larry, Nangadef.
Mangifi.
Awesome.
Mangifi Rek.
Great, better.
I studied for this. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Africa Food Systems Forum 2025. And we're so glad to be here in Dakar, Africa's greatest city. We studied for this. We rehearsed this. So let's try it one more time. It is wonderful to be here in Dakar, Africa's greatest city. So spontaneous. What a wonderful audience. And Maimouna, it's wonderful to be hosting with you among these esteemed guests who are working to feed Africa at every level. And I'm glad that we're centering Africa's youth in this week, and they're taking charge of Africa's agricultural future. These people work to feed us. I work to eat the food they make. We're all contributing. It's like teamwork makes the dream work. They will get it tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. They will get it.
They will get it eventually.
In half an hour. Aujourd'hui, nous ne sommes pas réunis pour un forum de plus. Nous sommes ici pour lancer un mouvement, un espace où les idées audacieuses prennent vie, où les paroles se transforment en action. Nous allons parler de système alimentaire, bien sûr, mais au fond, ce dont il est vraiment question, c'est de l'avenir, de cette jeunesse africaine qui, dès maintenant, façonne le destin du continent avec passion, créativité et courage.
And wonderful, we are ready to get started, and it's my pleasure. Please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Ahmad Pate Sene, Managing Director of the Africa Food Systems Forum.
Bonjour et merci. Merci Larry, merci à vous. Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République du Sénégal, Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République du Rwanda, Monsieur le Président de l'Assemblée nationale, Excellence à Monsieur les chefs d'institutions internationales, mais aussi de l'Union africaine, Excellence, Monsieur les ministres, corps diplomatique, la distinguée invitée, jeunesse africaine, jeunesse du monde, bienvenue au Sénégal, terre d'hospitalité, terre de la Teranga, Dalalen Sidiam. C'est un immense plaisir que nous accueillons la première édition du Forum africain sur les systèmes alimentaires ici en terre sénégalaise, un sommet que nous organisons depuis 19 ans. Et vraiment, c'est un immense, encore une fois, plaisir d'être ici au Sénégal. Merci le président de la République du Sénégal et tous vos collaborateurs qui nous ont accueillis et qui nous ont facilité tout le travail pour que ce sommet se passe aujourd'hui ici à Dakar. Merci à vous et merci à tous vos collaborateurs, ministres qui ont ménagé aucun effort. Cette plateforme unique au monde qui nous rassemble ici offre une opportunité pour que nous nous retrouvions et faire le bilan et le point sur l'agenda continental, sur l'état des financements, sur la recherche, sur les partenariats, sur le leadership, mais également comment on peut partager de bonnes pratiques entre nous. Et donc, encore une fois, nous nous retrouvons pour renouveler notre engagement collectif à transformer nos systèmes alimentaires et au cœur les jeunes et la jeunesse africaine. Murakose, Mr. President, Your Excellency, President Kagame, for your great leadership, for being a champion, but also for hosting the Secretariat in Kigali. Myself, I'm based in Kigali, and it's also, we are extremely honored to have you here at this 19th edition in Senegal. Thank you again, thank you for your leadership and for being with us. Le choix du thème de cette année, Jeunesse africaine, fer de lance de la collaboration, de l'innovation et de la transformation des systèmes alimentaires, est en parfaite phase avec la direction que la jeunesse africaine veut donner au changement, mais également veut imprimer à l'Afrique que nous voulons. C'est donc avec un sens de responsabilité et de redevabilité que nous accueillons tout l'écosystème du système alimentaire, que ce soit les leaders, les jeunes, les chercheurs, les innovateurs, le business, que nous vous accueillons ici, près de 6000 participants de plus de 80 pays, à venir discuter, mais aussi de toutes les régions du Sénégal, plus de 2000 jeunes, à discuter des sujets centrés sur comment nourrir l'Afrique, mais comment créer des emplois pour les jeunes et pour les femmes. Il sera question cette semaine de leadership entre les jeunes et les leaders, et les jeunes leaders et nos leaders qui sont ici. Il sera aussi question de prendre des décisions, les ministres, la recherche, de partager des informations. Il sera question d'infrastructures, d'innovation, mais aussi de célébrer la culture africaine à travers l'art culinaire, avec reconnaissance de ce que nous sommes au cœur de notre travail. Au cœur aussi des débats, la jeunesse africaine et les petits producteurs, qui sont des véritables moteurs du changement. Il est question de solidarité et de partenariat avec le reste du monde, mais aussi entre Africains et les corridors que nous pouvons faire, l'Afrique sans frontières. Un programme extrêmement riche sur une semaine. Donc, merci pour tous ceux qui se sont déplacés de très loin pour venir. Et aujourd'hui, c'est l'attraction, c'est de faire en somme que ce soit un forum d'affaires. C'était une conférence d'investissement, un forum d'affaires, et on doit faire de sorte que l'agriculture soit perçue comme un business. Je vais clore mes propos avec des mots de remerciement à nos 40 et plus partenaires qui chaque année renouvellent leur confiance, qui sont là. Nos collègues vont les remercier, et tous ceux qui nous ont sponsorisés aussi ici à Dakar, parce que c'est un mouvement, ce n'est pas que juste un forum de plus, mais encore une fois, vous exprimez au nom des partenaires du Forum africain sur les systèmes alimentaires toute notre reconnaissance et notre gratitude. Nous avons les moyens de nous nourrir, nous avons les moyens de le faire et de nourrir aussi le monde. Et on va unir notre volonté, nous mobiliserons nos ressources pour faire des systèmes alimentaires le moteur de la renaissance africaine, mais aussi fondés sur la dignité, la souveraineté et le développement partagé et intégré. Encore une fois, merci, et merci à vous tous pour votre attention.
Welcome to Senegal, the land of Teranga, a Wolof word that is much more than just hospitality. It embodies a culture of warmth, respect, community, and solidarity, encompassing the generosity of sharing, extending warmth and kindness to everyone. Africa, a land of abundance, resilience, and unstoppable potential, home to 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land. A rising powerhouse of innovation, sustainability, and youth-driven change. In 2025, we meet again in Dakar, Senegal, where the future of Africa's food systems takes center stage. In 2025, we rise with a bold theme: Africa's youth, leading collaboration, innovation, and the implementation of agri-food systems transformation. Because the power to transform is already here, in Africa's young people, in its innovators, and in its farmers. This is not just a conference, it is a movement, a bold continent-wide call to action. A platform where youth lead from the front, transforming agriculture, building agribusinesses, shaping policy, and delivering real solutions. Last year, the event brought together over 5,200 delegates from 97 countries. This year, we scale higher. We go deeper. We act faster. More innovations, more partnerships, more investment-ready ideas from drone-powered precision farming to youth-led agri-startups. Over the coming days, you will witness ambition unfold. And while here, we warmly invite you to step into the vibrant heartbeat of Dakar, its colorful markets, soulful music, rich heritage, and unmatched spirit of hospitality. Welcome to Senegal. Welcome to the Africa Food Systems Forum 2025.
I know I'm excited to be in Senegal. Are you excited to be here? Who's here for the third or fourth time, the Africa Food Systems Forum? First time? Second time? Third time? 5 times or more? Oh, you're the real deal, the OGs. 10 times or more? Now I know you're lying. I know for sure you're lying. I'm excited to be back here. It's going to be an incredible week. We're going to hear very, very briefly to some of the Africa Food Systems partners right now. And to kick us off, please welcome to the stage Ms. Alice Rukweza, President of AGRA.
Your Excellency, Monsieur Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal. Your Excellency, Mr. Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda. Honorable Moses Vilakati, representing the AUC, the African Union Commission Chairperson today, and also Commissioner for Agriculture. Distinguished former heads of state and government. Honorable Hailemariam Desalegn, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Ethiopia, the Chairperson of the Africa Food Systems Forum Partners Group, and the Chair of the AGRA Board of Directors, Honorable Ministers, esteemed delegates, partners, and friends of Africa's food systems. It is an honor and privilege to welcome you to the 2025 Africa Food Systems Forum here in the beautiful and historic city of Dakar. Let me begin by expressing our sincere appreciation to you, Mr. President of Senegal, your government, and the people of Senegal for the warm and gracious welcome and generous teranga hospitality that you have extended to all of us. I will also want to thank you, Your Excellency President Kagame, for hosting the Africa Food Systems Forum. This forum is more than just a convening. It is a call to accelerate our collective commitment to strengthen Africa's food systems. We gather here not only to discuss, but to connect and to celebrate progress and to forge new partnerships and inspire with bold transformative ideas. Even as we are acutely aware of the task at hand and the challenges we face, let us be inspired by the progress that we are seeing in Africa. Smallholder farmers are adopting new technologies like drought-resistant seeds, mobile-based market information, smart irrigation systems, and increasing productivity. Women who form the backbone of Africa's farming communities are stepping into leadership roles, and they are driving innovation. You will see many of them tomorrow when we celebrate the Women's Entrepreneurship of the Year Awards. Moreover, the youth are engaging with agriculture in fresh and dynamic ways. In the Youth Dome, if you haven't visited already, you will see the next generation of Africa's food system actors designing the future of our system. Agribusiness startups, digital platforms, and sustainable farming practices are reshaping the story of agriculture, and you will see examples of these in the Agri-Food System Expo. But we know we're not there yet. We know that we must confront challenges that persist. We still have millions of people going hungry. We still have malnutrition, and we still are importing over 70 billion a year of food. We know we still have young people who remain unemployed, and we still have some infrastructure gaps. So today in our call to action, we know that we're talking about delivering Africa's food systems promise. And that promise is enshrined in the Kampala Declaration, in the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program. In CADAP, we have committed to increase agri-food output by 45%, to reduce post-harvest losses, to triple Africa trade, to mobilize 100 billion in public and private investments, to reinforce our GDP at least 15% into the sector, to achieve zero hunger, to reduce stunting and wasting, to empower women and youth, and to improve our coordination. So our call to action today, for me, to all of you stakeholders, governments, private sector, researchers and farmers, is for us to unite behind the Kampala Declaration, behind the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Plan. I'm calling on us to translate commitments into action, to domesticate the Kampala Declaration by making sure we put it in national strategies, we translate that continental ambition into national implementation, increase public investment in agriculture, empower our youth and women, build a strong regulatory and positive and institutional environment that attracts private capital and fosters innovation. We know investors are ready and we will see them in the expo, but they need more clarity. To accelerate infrastructure development, because infrastructure is a game changer, in line with the Africa Food Security and Trade Initiative that is led by the African Union, we must continue to prioritize investments in transport and trade and corridors. And last but not least, to adopt science, technology, and innovation. The Africa agri-food system sector is more than farming. It is a powerful engine for transformation. AGRA will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with smallholder farmers, with civil society, with government, with the private sector, as we've done for the last 19 years. Together, we will work with you to build a vibrant, sustainable agri-food system that nourishes Africa. Let us lead with courage, with collaboration, and a shared vision for a food-secure future. Welcome to Dakar, and welcome to the Africa Food Systems Forum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Et c'est un honneur d'appeler un partenaire clé de l'AFS, le directeur Afrique de la Fondation Gates, M. Pauline Basinga.
Merci beaucoup. Excellence, Monsieur le Président de la République du Sénégal, Monsieur Diomaye Faye, merci beaucoup pour l'hospitalité. Excellency President Kagame, President of Republic of Rwanda, and all other distinguished guests, the African Union and everybody. I'm going to stand on existing protocol so that we can gain some time. It's really a privilege to be here today to talk to this August Assembly and represent the Gate Foundation and other partners that we collaborate together in this, really driving this important mission. It's a profound honor, by the way, to really work with you all in our shared aspiration of the African that we want. A prosperous continent built on inclusive growth and sustainable development. Central to achieving this vision is the transformation of Africa's food system, which hold the power not only to ensure a food system, but also to generate jobs, to strengthen resilience, and also to drive lasting prosperity for millions across the continent. At the Gate Foundation, we believe that Africa can and should become a net food exporter, not only exporting, but actually making good money out of this export. That vision is indeed within reach. And it fuels our growing commitment to working with you all and helping lift hundreds of millions of people out of poverty and putting more countries firmly on the path to shared prosperity. Because investing in agriculture is never just about food. It's also about jobs. It's about equity, it's about resilience, and it's about hope. Today, Africa is at crossroads. Hunger is rising, unfortunately, and it's not failing. Climate shocks, conflict, global economic turbulence are straining our resilience. But this is not only a story of challenge, it's also a story of possibilities. Our farmers, scientists, entrepreneurs, and especially our young people in Africa are truly rewriting the future of food. Over the past 25 years, we have seen an undeniable progress. Higher yield, smarter trade, stronger policies, and also, as my dear sister Ali said, the Kampala Declaration set quite an ambitious target to boost Africa agriculture output by 45% by 2035. And that will be done through resilient, inclusive, and climate-smart food systems. But vision must become action. Declaration must truly become delivery for us to be able to succeed. Smallholder farmers across Africa are actually the backbone of the food systems. They feed most of the continent and create the majority of rural jobs and safeguard biodiversity, and they're also the true innovators. Across Africa today, we are seeing that many smallholder farmers are adopting stress-tolerant crops. They are using artificial intelligence-powered weather forecasts so that they know exactly when to plant, what to plant, and the quantity of fertilizer to use. They are leveraging mobile advisory platforms so that technology and new way of doing things can reach them faster. And also they are practicing regenerative agriculture to ensure sustainability in our soil. Here in Senegal, solar-powered irrigation is helping community withstand drought. In East Africa, digital apps are giving farmers precise soil and crop data. Across the continent, research institutions are advancing drought-tolerant maize, sorghum, and improved livestock breed. These innovations are not abstract. They are here, they work, and they're ready to be scaled. And to reach scale, we need really enabling environment. I'll cite 4. Number 1, government must continue making agriculture central to climate and economic strategies. Private sector partners investing at level that really need this scale. We've seen many young Africans really engaging in agriculture. They're looking for financing, they're looking for support. Third, I think the regional integration to move seed, food, and knowledge across borders are going to be critical for us to scale faster. And last, not least, policies that empower women and youth, real driver of transformation. At the Gate Foundation, we are really committed to supporting African leadership in this journey. Earlier this year, our chair, Bill Gates, announced that the majority of the foundation resources are going to be spent to support work in Africa, and agriculture and food system are going to be one of the key pillars, in addition to health and disease eradication. Our goal is not at all to replace African leadership, but to support it and to work in partnership by helping build an agriculture innovation ecosystem in Africa that reveals the best of the world, like CAS in China, Embrap in Brazil, and Arcan in India. And we know that there are a number of really high-tech, high-impactful organizations in Africa that will continue to support in the next 20 years. And we bring 3 comparative advantages. Number 1 is science and innovation, backing African and global researchers to generate breakthroughs suited to African conditions. Scale and affordability, deploying innovation, cost-effective, ensuring smallholder farmers, especially women, can access those innovations. And third one, partnerships. Working alongside governments, regional bodies, other donors, other philanthropies, such as the MasterCard Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, and others, and really working through African Union institutions to make sure that they really thrive in terms of building those innovations to scale. But let us be honest. Public budgets are tight now. Resources are limited, given the macroeconomic situation that we're all living now. That is why every franc, every naira, every dollar must work harder through collaboration, integration, and policies that lower the cost and the barrier to innovation. This is about more than farming. It's about Africa's ability to feed itself, to create dignified jobs for youth, empower women, and protect people from the climate crisis. And it's also about stability. As we all know, a resilient Africa food system strengthens the world. Now, as I close, I just wanted to share some message for the head of states that are here and policymakers and other leaders. It's so critical for government and policymakers to actually put youth in the center of their development. As I stand here, I'm actually from Rwanda, and my head of state is here. Started my career early on as an orphan. I didn't have opportunities, but I can stand and represent the Gates Foundation across Africa because my government put in place some quite very strong policies that really empower youth, and they continue to do it today. So the future is actually possible when we stand in our youth. President Diomaye Faye, we've been in Senegal for a few days and we're able to visit some really great innovators. Vous êtes en train de transformer le Sénégal. Nous avons rencontré des jeunes qui bénéficient de ce leadership. Continuez à faire ça. And you know what I will say is that my story is not about me, it's about what becomes possible when leaders believe in their citizens. When we actually remove barrier to effective execution, then we move things quickly to deliver for our people. Agriculture teaches us that the same lesson is possible. If we trust our young farmers, equip them with science, digital tools, and AI-driven innovation and open path for dignified work, we will not only transform food system, we will transform Africa. So my call to you, head of state, policymakers, and partners, it's simple. Match declaration with action, invest boldly in African youth, in agriculture innovation, and in job creation. Because when we bet on our young people, we secure an African food future, and we, the Gates Foundation, and other partners in the room are going to be alongside you in this journey. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
March declaration with action. Thank you, Dr. Basinga. And to speak on behalf of the Africa Food Systems Forum partners, governments, please welcome the Minister for Africa, Foreign Commonwealth, and Minister for Africa at the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, the Honorable Lord Collins of Highbury.
Your Excellencies, President Diomaye Faye, and of course, President Kagame of Rwanda. Can I just say I am extremely grateful to both Rwanda and Senegal for hosting this event. It's an amazing event, really, really important. And I, of course, also welcome all of your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and friends. It's a real privilege to join you once again at the Africa Food Systems Forum for the second year in a row. We meet at a time of real challenge. Climate shocks, economic uncertainty, and declining aid are affecting lives across the continent. But what stands out is Africa's response. Decisive leadership, homegrown solutions, and a renewed commitment to transforming agriculture. The Kampala Declaration and the 10-year strategy are exactly the kind of bold, African-led frameworks that can drive lasting change. And with the unveiling of the draft AFCFTA Agri-Food Trade Plan at the Council of Ministers meeting in Kinshasa, Africa is signaling its intent to shape its own future. The United Kingdom is proud to be a partner in these efforts. We are committed to a new approach to working with Africa, an approach built on long-term partnerships, mutual respect, and shared interests. By the end of next week, I will have visited 19 African countries over the last 12 months to listen, to learn, and build enduring partnerships with people around the continent. Across all of our consultations, we've heard a clear message. Countries want to diversify economies, get more value from natural resources, and build resilience to global shocks. We've also heard the desire to make sure people feel the benefit, especially through good jobs, productive sectors like manufacturing and agri-businesses. The United Kingdom welcomes these ambitions and is ready to support them. We've already started work and look forward to sharing more later this year. We also want to help Africa meet growing global demand for food. For example, British international investment has invested close to £32 million, including via AgDefco in cashew processing in Côte d'Ivoire. This is helping 230,000 farmers and creating close to 3,500 jobs. Our work with ECOWAS and COMESA is helping set up platforms that bring together governments and businesses in rice and creating new opportunities in horticulture. This is cutting down on imports and creating new opportunities across Africa. But I know we must go further. That's why it gives me huge pleasure today to announce a new £5 million UK partnership with AGRA, including working with the African Union and AUDA-NEPAD. This funding, the funding will help deliver the Kampala Declaration, supporting efforts to grow agricultural trade and strengthen key food corridors across Africa. We know that agriculture remains underinvested, despite it employing over half of Africa's workforce and making up nearly 20% of its GDP. With the global food market worth $7 trillion, this represents a big opportunity for Africa's agribusinesses. This will not just boost development, but it will also strengthen our shared food security and resilience. So let us continue working together to raise more money, promote African ownership, and champion trade. Ultimately, this forum is not just about challenges. It's about realizing Africa's vast potential. Together, we must harness the energy and innovation of Africa's youth to build a brighter future for the continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Lord Collins, and thank you very much. Thank you to the UK for being open to building new partnerships in Africa, and thank you for announcing this fund. C'est un honneur maintenant d'appeler le Dr Alvario Lario, président du Fonds international de développement agricole, FIDA, qui représente les partenaires qui sont les banques multilatérales de développement.
Good morning, everyone. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency, President of Rwanda, honorable ministers, dear friends, let me start by thanking Senegal for hosting this forum, to the people also of Senegal for the warm welcome and also for the leadership on the agenda of food systems. I would also like to thank especially the Republic of Senegal for its leadership in the global water agenda. I mean, we all know about the importance of the link between climate shocks and food systems, so we're very happy about their convening and hosting with the United Arab Emirates of the high-level 2026 UN Water Conference next year. As the President of AGRA mentioned, we gather today not only to discuss the future of food and agriculture, but also to act to accelerate the innovation and the financing to transform food systems. That is why today I'd like to discuss not only the opportunities of our brighter future, but especially to talk about the African youth. We know that around 10 million new young people come into the job market every year here in Africa. And today, more than 2/3 of the African youth are employed in food systems, whether formally or informally. So as the number of young people in Africa is projected to increase by 65% by 2050, it's especially important that we talk today about jobs and opportunities. The goal is to create these opportunities, especially in the rural areas, to create well-paid jobs across the entire value chain, not only in production, in productivity, but in distribution, in storage, commercialization, exporting, certification. So jobs are created across a number of sectors, and this relates also to infrastructure, to energy, and this is very important. It's not only about production. We also have a lot of opportunities through the New Africa Continental Free Trade Area. We have today the African Agriculture Commissioner, and we know that it's at the top of the agenda of many of the leaders. So in Africa, these returns are very compelling. We talk about investing in Africa's food systems as a way of transforming the future of millions of young people whose lives and livelihoods depend on them. Let me share an example of how this looks like here in Senegal through some of the investments that we have had together with the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Sovereignty, Livestock, and African Development Bank. Over the last 5 years, it has supported the entrepreneurial ambition of thousands of young people in rural areas by providing them with skills, tailored finance, access to markets, and also decent jobs, as I mentioned, which are changing the lives of thousands of people. This is an example of the young participants in this type of investments. They are currently earning 2 to 7 times the national minimum wage, and this is what transformation and a powerful example looks like. When we talk about MDBs and we talk about the importance of multilateral development banks, it's very clear that we also, all of us and financial institutions need to change the way that we design, the way that we bring, especially and incentivize the private sector. And the private sector is, when we talk about private sector, it's about the local private sector, about the micro enterprises that really need the access to financing and how we can embed that into national investment programs. For us at IFAD, it also means how we collaborate with the public development banks, the agriculture development banks, the land banks, and across the MDBs, how we can come together across country platforms. But the private sector, as I mentioned, is also about global companies that can come to Africa. Recently at TICAD, in this 2 weeks ago, we brought a number of investments to Rwanda, actually, to Tanzania, to Nigeria, from global Japanese firms, and this is what we would like to also see across the entire financial sector, how we can support many of these investments. Recent geopolitical uncertainty cannot also change the way that we are looking into the investments and the vision of transforming African food systems. Evidence-based investment have shown us what works, so now it's a time to redouble our efforts at scale and speed and together. And together means across a very different number of partnerships that are here also today. That means across government, civil society, multilateral development banks, public development banks, private sector, farmers organizations, academia, and youth organizations. So let's continue working together and let's make it happen. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Lario. And now let's hear from the African Union Commission, the Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy, and Sustainable Development, His Excellency Moses Vilakati.
Thank you, Directors of Ceremonies, Your Excellency Bassirou Faye, the President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, AGRA Chair and former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, honorable ministers, AGRA President Alice Rueza, CEO of Oitanepat, my friend Nadis, distinguished delegates, partners, all protocols observed. On behalf of His Excellency Mohammed Ali Yusuf, the chairperson of the African Union Commission, I bring you warm greetings at the opening session of the 2025 African Food Systems Forum here in Dakar, in the Republic of Senegal. We gather in a city renowned for its vibrant culture, rich history, and dynamic spirit, a city that reflects the resilience and innovation needed to transform Africa's food systems. Allow me from the onset to express our sincere appreciation to the government and the people of the Republic of Senegal for their generous hospitality and support in hosting this forum. Also to extend gratitude to the people, to the President and the people of Rwanda for hosting the secretariat of this important forum. This forum is not a meeting, but a legacy. It convenes at a time of profound urgency. Our continent faces a convergence of challenges: climate disruptions, economic volatility, and geopolitical tensions, which threaten to reverse the hard-earned progress. Yet, within these challenges lie immense opportunities. Harnessing these opportunities requires a clear vision and a robust strategic interventions. The CADAP Strategy and Action Plan of 2026 to 2035, along with the Kampala Declaration, offers a bold roadmap to transform Africa's agri-food systems. It envisions increased production, expanded agro-processing, and value addition, as well as improved food and nutrition security. It also is about enhanced intra-African trade and the creation of wealth, especially for our youth and women, while building a resilient agri-food systems in Africa. The Kampala Declaration sets ambitious targets, which include a 45% increase in agri-food production in Africa, and the mobilization of US $100 billion in public-private investment over the next decade. To support this implementation, the African Union Commission, working hand in hand with the Oitanepat, is developing a domestication guidelines as well as results framework to guide the implementations. Africa, we know, holds 60% of arable land. With this immense land and opportunities, we can feed ourselves. We can reduce the import bill of up to US $100 billion per annum. I therefore urge all AU member states to adopt the new CADAP guidelines as they formulate and execute their national agri-food systems investment plans. It is the right thing to do. In marking my first 100 days as a commissioner, I'm proud to share that we have laid the foundation for a transformative agenda that places soil health and mapping, seed bank development, and climate resilience, as well as job creation at its core. We have also prioritized the development of climate-smart agriculture, as well as the need to develop fertilizer blending across regions of Africa, and the need to advance on the Pan-African strategy for blue economy, recognizing our coastal and aquatic resources as vital to food security and livelihoods. These pillars are not isolated interventions. They are interconnected levers for productivity and resilience. The next phase will deepen these efforts, ensuring that our policies are not only technically sound, but socially rooted and continentally aligned. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's forum, Africa's Youth Leading Collaboration, Innovation, and Implementation of Agri-Food System Transformation, underscores the central role of young people in shaping our future. Your Excellencies, I was lucky yesterday to be part of the youth team at the Dome. I could see the vibrancy and I could see the urgency that they are pushing us to make sure that we can deliver on our promises. This forum, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, offers a unique opportunity for inclusive dialogue, strategic collaboration, and evidence-based decision-making. As we engage over the coming days, we must develop innovative responses to the pressing challenges within our agri-food systems. We must reinforce strategic partnerships and a shift from just dialogue to impactful pathways that pave the way for a resilient and thriving agri-food future across Africa. I wish you all a productive and inspiring forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vilakati, and thank you for reminding us of the vibrant energy that was happening yesterday at the Dome. Yes, Africa's youth is very, very vibrant. Sans plus tarder, nous allons appeler le sous-secrétaire général des Nations Unies et secrétaire exécutif de la Commission économique des Nations Unies pour l'Afrique, M. Claver Gatete.
Your Excellency Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal and our gracious host, Your Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, my President, Your Excellency President of the Senegalese National Assembly, Excellencies, former heads of state and government, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to address this August gathering at this defining moment for Africa's agricultural future. I extend to you warm greetings from the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres. He had hoped to join us in this summit, but due to unavoidable circumstances, he could not make it to be here with us. He has nevertheless asked me to assure you of his full support for Africa's agricultural transformation agenda. Allow me to begin by expressing my profound gratitude to the government and people of Senegal for their warm hospitality, and to His Excellency, President Faye, for his leadership in hosting us here in Dakar. I also commend the Africa Food Systems Forum Partners Group and AGRA, together with the United Nations System, for bringing us together at this pivotal moment. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, we meet today at a critical juncture for the world and Africa. Globally, food systems are under immense pressure. Conflicts, climate shocks, disrupted supply chains, and trade wars have exposed vulnerabilities everywhere. Rising costs of food and inputs have left millions hungry, even in countries that once enjoyed relative stability. In Africa, these global crises amplify our own structural challenges. Our continent, as known, holds more than 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land and abundant water resources. Yet we imported food worth up to $115 billion last year. In addition, we are home to the youngest population in the world, with energy and ideas to drive transformation, yet too many of our youth remain unemployed. We have abundant sunlight and biodiversity, yet climate change threatens our fields and forests than any other region, even though Africa contributes less than 4% of global climate emissions. This is the paradox of Africa, a continent with extraordinary potential, but still marked by persistent hunger and heavy dependence on external markets. How can it be that a continent that should be the breadbasket of the world remains unable to feed its own people? After more than a decade of a comprehensive African Agriculture Development Program implementation, Africa has seen strong institutions, better policy alignment, and agricultural growth. Yet progress has fallen short, with hunger still rising. It is a welcome development that the newly adopted CAADP strategy and action plan seeks to increase agri-food output by 45% and to reduce post-harvest losses by 50% by the end of 2035. The declaration also seeks to increase the share of locally processed food by 35% of agri-food GDP within the same time period. Financing is therefore crucial, as the era of abundant aid is now over. In a post-ODA world, domestic resources and private capital must lead the way. Pension funds, remittances, diaspora bonds, and innovative instruments like green and resilient bonds offer vital opportunities. And let's not forget, Excellencies, that Africa's greatest asset is its people, especially the youth. Our median age is just 19, and by 2050, 1 in 3 young people in the world will be African. If given land, finance, technology, and markets, they can not only feed Africa, but the world. So what must we do? I submit 6 recommendations for your kind consideration. First, beyond policies, Africa needs implementation and delivery. We must align budgets with commitments, strengthen accountability, and measure progress transparently. Implementation, not intention, will feed our people. Second, we must mobilize domestic resources and private investment to cut our huge food import bill. By expanding our tax base, digitizing the economy to reduce illicit financial flows, reforming expenditure and leveraging assets like pension funds and remittances, we can finance transformation from within. The private sector, including our farmers, processors, and agri-entrepreneurs, must also be empowered with affordable finance and risk-sharing instruments. Third, we must implement the African Continental Free Trade Area, dismantle the barriers, and build the regional value chains. ECA projects that with full implementation, intra-African exports of agricultural products could rise by nearly 60% by 2045. By harmonizing standards, reducing tariff and non-tariff barriers, and developing food corridors, we can connect Africa's farmers to Africa's markets. This will feed the continent, boost our economies, and build resilience against external shocks. Fourth, we must scale up innovative financing and empower small-scale entrepreneurs, women, and youth. New instruments, including green and resilient bonds, diaspora bonds, branded finance, must be designed to reach agri-SMEs and cooperatives. As youth-led enterprises in storage, logistics, and agri-tech thrive, they will reduce losses, lower costs, and multiply opportunities. Fifth, we must invest in infrastructure, from energy, roads, logistics, irrigation, to digital systems without which transformation will remain a dream. Farmers cannot sell what they cannot transport, and the processors cannot operate without reliable energy. Investing in rural and regional infrastructure is the backbone of modernization, and it will yield dividends across trade, industry, and integration. Finally, Africa's youth must be placed at the heart of this transformation. With over 60% of our population under the age of 25, it is impossible to imagine Africa's future without them. We must therefore invest deliberately in business incubation hubs, expand access to land, and channel resources into agri-tech startups. Entrepreneurship training embedded in our TVET systems and coupled with practical experience will give young people the skills and drive a modern value chains. In this way, we cannot convert their boundaries energy into a force for enduring, we can convert their boundaries energy into a force for enduring economic transformation. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, food systems transformation is more than feeding people. It is about dignity, sovereignty, and Africa's rightful place in the global economy. As such, linking food systems with climate action through resilience, adaptation, and innovative finance must be central to our agenda. And working together, I'm confident that we can turn things around here in Dakar and make Africa a continent of solutions where innovation, partnership, and leadership transform food systems into engines of prosperity. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Honorable Gatete. And he highlighted a contradiction that I have all the time traveling in Africa, which is why does the continent that's supposed to be the food basket of the world, why can we not feed ourselves? But I guess that's why you guys are here, right? That's why you're here, right? To answer that question. Because I have two challenges for you. I remember going to a supermarket in Luanda, in Angola, and I found produce from Spain. I think it was carrots. From Spain, in Angola. Do you see the map? Do you see that distance? Think about it. And two, in Western Ghana, in Takoradi, I found coffee from Canada. Sit with that for a moment. And finally, last but not least, it's my pleasure to invite the board chair of AGRA and the former Prime Minister of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, His Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn.
Our host, Your Excellency Bassirou Diomaye Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal, Your Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, Your Excellency Jakaya Kikwete, former President of Tanzania, Excellency the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Senegal, Excellency Brother Moses Blakati, representing the AUC chairperson, honorable ministers, high-ranking government officials, and representatives of development partners, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure and honor to welcome you on behalf of the African Food Systems Forum Partners Group to the official opening of the African Food Systems Forum 2025 here in Dakar, Senegal, the land of Teranga. From the moment we arrived, we have been embraced by the warmth, hospitality, and generosity that Teranga so beautifully embodies, reflecting the future spirit and a true spirit of Africa. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to His Excellency President Bassirou and to the people of Senegal for graciously hosting the Africa Food Systems Forum 2025. It is in this spirit of unity and generosity that we gather, guided by a shared purpose to advance Africa's agri-food systems transformation. This year's forum, themed Africa Youth, Leading Collaboration, Innovation and Implementation of Agri-Food Systems Transformation, underscores the indispensable role of young people as dynamic drivers of the Africa's agri-food systems. I sincerely thank each of you, especially the vibrant youth leaders. This time we call them our VVPIs, which are innovators, farmers, and entrepreneurs among us, for joining this important forum to explore what we can do to strengthen Africa's agri-food systems and deliver results at scale. I eagerly anticipate the dynamic discussions, bold ideas, and innovative solutions our youth-led collaboration will spark, driving action to build a prosperous future for our continent. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Africa is blessed with abundant uncultivated arable land, abundant water resources, and the youngest population on the planet. Yet, as our proverb warns us, I quote, "The river is full, but the calabash is empty." End of the quote. Despite our abundance, Africa still imports $70 billion of food each year, loses 30 to 40% of its harvest post-farm, and still produces only 60 to 70% of its food needs. This cannot continue. The urgency is clear. Africa is experiencing escalating climate challenge with more frequent and severe droughts impacting agriculture and food security. In the Horn of Africa alone, recent droughts left over 20 million people acutely food insecure. Meanwhile, women make up nearly half of Africa's agricultural labor force, face barriers to land, credit, and extension, creating yield gaps of 20 to 30%. We all know these challenges because we live them with our communities, farmers, and the youth. Perhaps no one more vividly than Wanjiku in Tanzania, who rises before dawn to tend her field yet worries about unpredictable weather, or Charity in Nigeria, whose entrepreneurial spirit brings but struggles to find meaningful work for her family. This forum is ultimately about them, about the millions of Africans counting on us to act. But there is hope. The vision and the agenda to change this are very clear. Earlier this year, under the auspices of the African Union Agenda 2063, we adopted CAADP 3, Africa's bold 10 years development plan for agri-food systems, which aims to raise agri-food output by 45%, triple intra-African trade in farm goods, and cut post-harvest losses by half. And we should be cognizant of the fact that CAADP 2, we haven't been successful. So we need to redouble our efforts not to fall in the same trap. This is not simply an agricultural plan. It is a comprehensive food systems strategy covering climate resilience, youth and women empowerment, innovation, and trade as embodied in the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Here in Dakar, for the 2025 Africa Food Systems Forum, we stand at a defining moment in our continent's journey to transform its food systems. We must commit to turning the CAADP 3 strategy into concrete implementation, as all my friends were saying. Achieving CAADP 3 ambitious goals will be like running a marathon. Winning does not require the sprint of a 100-meter dash, but if we are to mobilize $100 billion, boost production by nearly half, triple our intra-African trade, and have our post-harvest losses within a decade, then we must run fast from the outset. That is the pace Africa must now set if we are to succeed by 2035. Excellencies, the good news is that Africa already has a strong springboard for the CAADP 3 marathon. First and foremost are our youth and women, whose energy and leadership are the driving force of Africa's transformation. Across Africa, youth-led agri-tech is cutting losses by nearly 30%. Women's cooperatives are doubling incomes, and women-led agribusinesses already drive 1/3 of regional food trade. The second source of strength is our private sector. Across the continent, firms are linking farmers to markets, technologies, and services. The results are clear. Groundnut farmers in Malawi are accessing better markets. Rwanda's avocado exports have grown tenfold. Soybean adoption is up to 50% in Zambia and Togo. Cashew value chains are expanding in Cote d'Ivoire and Mozambique. And here in Senegal, vibrant value chains are creating new opportunities. Third, our governments are showing greater leadership than ever before. When I was Prime Minister, only a handful of countries placed agriculture and food systems at the top of their economic agenda. Today, I am impressed by how many leaders have made this their priority. I see presidents personally committed, ministers deeply engaged, and technocrats becoming more skilled. Fourth, Africa's research institutions and civil society are emerging as a force of transformation. Across the continent, homegrown institutions are delivering solutions for seeds, soil health, and landscapes, turning research into a real driver of innovation. Finally, our development partners remain crucial allies. The forerunners development partners are increasingly investing in what matters most: financing food systems, building rural infrastructure, and empowering women and marginalized groups, including people living with disabilities, even though the overall aid package is dwindling. These 5 areas, youth and women, private sector, governments, research and civil society, and development partners, give us the strong foundation we need to begin the CADIP 3 marathon with the speed and discipline required. But let us not underestimate what lies ahead. A plan's true worth is proven only when it is translated into action. This demands investment in capable leadership and strong coordination led by governments. Yesterday alone, in our frank deliberations with our youth, they demanded for more tangible, result-oriented platforms for meaningful actions than just talking and going back home. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the time to act is now. Africa cannot wait to harness its potential and transform its food systems. We owe it to the 300 million Africans living in poverty, to our young people searching for fulfilling work, and to our women and who hold our communities together. Let us go all in on Africa's third 10-year development plan, CADIP, by empowering youth to lead in agriculture and agribusiness. Fill the calabash and secure a prosperous future for the generations to come. As we conclude, let us remember Wanjiku rising before dawn to tend her field, yet worried about unpredictable weather, and Charity burning with entrepreneurial spirit, yet struggling to find meaningful work for her family. They are the faces of millions depending on us to, over the next days, I encourage you to experience the Youth Dome, feel their vibrancy, and help translate their ideas into thriving farms, seed companies, and agribusiness platforms. I wish you all a successful forum that embodies collaboration, innovation, and action driven by the dynamism of our youth, Africa's youth. The time is now. Let us run fast